Before you take your next trade, you need to see these key levels. Welcome back to my channel, guys. In today's price action analysis, I will break down the market ahead for the week, identifying key support and resistance level, and looking at the setup that will present the best opportunity. Let's go straight to the chart. Let's start our analysis with the dollar index. The dollar index on my weekly time frame, you can clearly see that price still remain on a weekly resistance level. So long we have price on this weekly resistance level, we need price to retest back to this previous support level. Then we start looking for a sell for the week for the dollar index. So expect more bearish opportunity from the dollar index this week on the weekly time frame. So let's confirm the trend of the market from the higher time frame, which is the monthly time frame, before looking at the daily time frame. Let's look at the monthly time frame. So on the monthly time frame, we can clearly see that price has converted, price has closed on a monthly resistance level, which is the one pushing price to this next support level. So we expect price to drop from the monthly to this support level before start looking for possible buy. But if price break this support, this will trigger more sell for price to this next monthly support level for the dollar index. So the dollar index on my monthly time frame still remain bearish. So we expect more of the selling opportunity from the dollar index on the monthly time frame. So let's go back to the weekly time frame. So you can see that the weekly time frame and the monthly time frame are in line. So the monthly is supporting the bearish move on the dollars on the weekly time frame. So you can see from the weekly structure, we can see we have this lower low and we have this higher low. So once we see price break below this structural level on the weekly time frame, this will trigger a sales opportunity for more sell for price to this next weekly support level. So once we see a break of that structure, this will trigger the major sell we are looking for on the dollar index. So let's look at the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you can clearly see that we have currently price on this support. So we need price to push to this resistance for us to start looking for possible selling opportunity for price to the downside, guys. So this is what we're expecting from this week on the dollar index. So let's look at our next pair, which is the pounds USD. So the pounds USD on my weekly time frame currently close on the resistance level. We can see we have price close on this resistance level. So long we have price close on that resistance level, this might push price back to this previous resistance for start looking for price towards to push higher for the pounds USD. Then we can also see that on this current resistance level, the first time price tested this resistance level, you can see price what drop. Second time price testing this level now. So this is the third time. The first time price tested this level, price drop. Second time price drop. This is the third time. So if you can see price break above this, we expect more buy to the top. If price fail to break this may drop price back to down to this support back. So this is what we're expecting from the pounds on the weekly time frame. So let's look at the monthly chart of the pounds USD. Are you a trader still looking for your edge in this financial market? You can book for my one-on-one mentorship. The link is in the description below, or you can get access to my video courses. The link is in the description below, where I will teach you how to properly read the chart, manage your emotion, risk management, and trade management. Click the link in the description to book for my one-on-one mentorship. So let's continue with the Forex analysis. So let's look at the monthly chart of the pounds USD. So the pounds USD on the monthly chart, we can clearly see we still have price still ranging on the monthly chart, which is we have price created this low, up, down, up. So you can see we have a ranging market structure on the monthly time frame. So we expect price to break for us to start looking for more buy. If price break below, expect price to start looking for more sell. So we are currently on the ranging market on the monthly time frame, and the current month support
more buy for the pounds USD to this resistance level. So price have hit this resistance level as our target. So let's expect a break, or we start looking for possible selling opportunity for the pounds USD. So let's go back to our weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, you can clearly see that from the monthly chart, price is currently at a critical level on the monthly chart, which is we might be seeing a sell of price back to this support, or we might see price break out of this resistance level. So let's expect price movement reacting to this level this week. So let's look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we can clearly see that price on the daily time frame is currently on a resistance level, which also indicates we might be seeing a retest of price back to this level for start looking for our possible buying opportunity for the pounds USD. So long we have this clear direction for the pounds USD, let's look at more of buying opportunity from this level, or wait for a break of price above this level to look out for more buy opportunity for the pounds USD. So let's look at the next pair. Let's look at the next pair, which is the Euro USD. So Euro USD on my weekly time frame, you can clearly see we see have a bearish structure on the Euro USD. You can clearly see we see have this higher high, then a lower high, and this price creating a lower high now. So we can see from the weekly time frame, you can see we have price break this structure level. This puts price on a bearish trend. Then let's look at the resistance levels. On the resistance level, you can see that we have this resistance. The first time price hits this resistance, what happened? Price drop. We expect price to hit this resistance back. If price hits this resistance and fail to close above it, this might, and if price fail to close above it, this might push price down. But if price close above it, this might trigger more bullish move for the euro to the top side, guys. But we see have a bearish structure. For the structure for euro to turn to a bullish structure, we need price to break above. Then we start looking for possible buy, more buys for the euro USD. Let's look at the monthly time frame. So on the monthly time frame on euro USD, you can see price reacting to this support, which shows that we expect price to hit this resistance or any further sales, or a break of that resistance will trigger more buy. So euro still needs to hit this resistance level. We need price to come to this resistance level, make any further decision. So that is what the monthly chart can say. Let's go back to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame now, we are currently on the weekly time frame now. We are currently expecting price to move to this resistance before see any further decision making on the euro USD. But we see our price on a bearish structure, but we need price to hit this level for us to make a possible decision on the euro USD. So let's look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we can clearly see that we have price on this daily resistance. So we need price to react, a push back to these areas. We need price to react and push back to this previous resistance. We'll start looking for a buy to the top for the euro USD. So expect more buy from euro USD, guys. Expect more buys from euro USD this coming week. So let's look at our next pair, which is the let's look at our next pair, which is the Australia USD. Australia USD on my weekly time frame, you can see we have a strong bullish structure, high, lower low, and a series of higher low. So this is a strong bullish structure for the Australia USD, which have been pushing price ever since to the top. So we expect price to hit this next weekly resistance level on Australia USD, and a break of this resistance will trigger more buy for the Australia USD to the top. So let's look at the monthly time frame of the Australia USD. You can see that price reacted to these support areas, which is now pushing price back to this resistance. So we expect price to break this resistance for us to see further up. But the price fail, this will trigger a sell back for price to this next support level for the monthly chart on the Australia USD. So Australia USD, we see expect more bullish move this week for Australia USD. One thing about the Australia USD, they don't have more power of their own. They work more with the with the dollar index, which is the DXY direction. So sometimes you can see Australia USD on a resistance. You keep buying because the dollar index is what keep buying. So you must know all these things so that you know how to properly plan your trade. Let's continue with the analysis. Let's look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame now, we can clearly see that price has been moving up on Australia USD. So we need price to react back. Currently, we have price on this resistance and this resistance. So we need price to come back to these areas for us to look for more buy for Australia USD to this resistance, weekly resistance area for the Australia USD. So our aim this week to look at for more of the buying opportunity from the Australia USD. Let's look at the next pair, which is the USD JPY. Let's look at the next pair, which is the USD JPY. So the USD JPY on my weekly time frame, you can clearly see we have a bullish structure, which is we have this lower low and a series of higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and higher lows. So long we have this series of higher lows, we expect more bullish movement for the USD, a more bullish movement from the USD JPY. But we have price currently closed on this resistance and price rejecting from this resistance. Long we have price on this resistance, we also have a support at this area. We have to be cautious. We have to be cautious, guys. You can also see that we also have price on the weekly time frame. We also have my trend line, which connects multiple swing levels. You can see that price has break below it, which signals a bearish move. But we can't just agree with this level. Let's confirm from the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, we can clearly see that price currently closed on this previous resistance, which is now pushing price back to this resistance area. Then the price fail to break this resistance, which might react to push price back more to the down. So the current movement on the USD JPY now is a retest. So the current movement now is a retest, guys. This is a retest. So we see expect more price to push lower for the USD JPY. But on the monthly time frame, we can clearly see that we have a strong momentum for bullish structure. But we need price to break this level and this level for us to see strong bearish momentum for USD JPY, guys. We need a break of this level for us to see strong bearish momentum for USD JPY. So this week now, long we have price close on this resistance and also this resistance, we see expect a push of price back to these support areas. We set a push of price back to these support areas, guys. So this is what we're expecting from this week. A break of this level will trigger more sell. So, but if price break above this area back, this will trigger a buy to this region for start looking for a test or for more buy for the USD JPY. Let's look at the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you can clearly see that we are also on a resistance level on the daily time frame, which signifies we cannot buy from that resistance level. So we need price to what? To head back to this support or start looking for buy or a break we may trigger more sell. But for us to buy, we need price to break above with test, then start looking for more buy, guys. This is what we're expecting from the USD JPY, guys. So let's look at the next pair, which is the gold USD. So the gold USD on my weekly time frame can clearly see that we see have some bearish structure on gold USD. See have this higher high, then a lower high and lower high. We need price to take out this level, then we start resuming a strong buy or go to the top. So this is what we're expecting from gold USD. Let's look at the monthly time frame of gold. So on the monthly time frame, we have two major structural level. We have this major structural level, this strong support level. Then we also have this our strong resistance level. So currently we have gold on a neutral ground. We need gold on a strong level for us to make our decision. So for now on the monthly, I don't have a clear monthly movement on gold for now. So let's look back to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, this is signaling more buy for the weekly time frame, which is expect a retest, then we expect more buy or go to the top. Let's look at the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you can clearly see that expect price to retest back to this region and start looking for more buy for good. So this is what we're expecting for good this week, guys. So let's look at the next pair. Let's look at the next pair, which is the BTC USD. So the BTC USD on my weekly time frame break. If you have been following my analysis, you can see that BTC USD break the level I'm expecting to sell from. So that's why you must wait for price close before making your decision. You can see that price has break above this level. So long price break above this level, we expect more price to this next resistance level. The price can break above this resistance, which will trigger more buy to these areas. So this is what we're expecting from the BTC USD. Let's look at the monthly time frame of BTC USD. So on the monthly time frame of BTC, we have price close on this support, which trigger the buy to this resistance. And we can see price close above this previous support, this will trigger the buy to this resistance. So this is what we're expecting from the BTC, guys. This is what we're expecting from the BTC USD. Let's go back to the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame is telling us that now we expect price to break. We expect price to break above this zone for us to really project more buy for BTC top. Let's look at the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we can clearly see that we have a strong bullish structure already. So we need price to retest, then we'll start looking for more buy for the BTC on the daily time frame. Let's look at the next pair. So let's look at USD card. So the USD card on my USD card on my weekly time frame, you can clearly see that we still have price with a bullish structure, but price is steering strong bearish move. So this week again, you can see that price has also converted a particular this support into a resistance, which indicates we expect a retest or start looking for a sell to this weekly support level, which is a major support level for the weekly time frame. Let's look at the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, you can see that price close on this resistance, which is now pushing price back to this support area. So we still expect more dropping on the USD card. So expect price to continue to drop on USD card this coming week. Let's go back to the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame now, we can clearly see that still have a bullish structure, but if you can see price break below this structural level, this will trigger a small sell opportunity for the USD card. But if price fail, this will trigger a push back to the top for the USD card. Let's go back to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame now, we need price to what to push back to these areas or start looking for possible sell to these areas. So look out for more selling opportunity on the USD card this week. Let's look at our next pair, which is the US30. US30 on my weekly time frame. If I look at the structure, I see we have this lower low and a series of higher low, higher low. So long we have a series of higher low, indicate a bullish move for the US30. So US30 see a main bullish for this week. To expect more buying opportunity this week for US30, but we have price currently close on this weekly resistance level. We need price to, which is a previous resistance level, which now a resistance. We need price to close above it, then we'll start looking for more buy. Let's look at the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, we can clearly see that we have a strong momentum for bullish move, guys. We have a strong momentum for bullish move, but price has moved far away from this particular previous resistance level. This resistance level might be calling for price to retest for us to see more move top for the S30. But let's see what will happen on the weekly time frame. If price can close above this resistance level, which is this resistance level, this will trigger more buy, guys. So let's be patient. Let's go to the daily time frame, guys. So on the daily time frame now, we can clearly see we have price having a bullish structure on the daily time frame also, but we need price to give us a confirmation for more buy. If you can see price close above that weekly level, then we'll start looking for more buys on the US30. So let's look at the next pair, which is the USD CHF. The USD CHF on my weekly time frame close on a resistance level. You can see we have this price on this resistance level. So long price close on this resistance level. This indicates a pullback to this previous support level. Then we'll start looking for a sell to these levels. So this does a sell to that support level. Let's confirm from the monthly time frame. So on the monthly time frame, we can clearly see that we have price close on this monthly resistance, which might be pushing price back to these support areas. Is this support area for start looking for any possible buying opportunity for the USD share? Let's go back to the weekly time frame. So weekly time frame, we expect a react. Then we start looking for sell. Then if you can see price break below this level, this will trigger a structural shift for USDC share for more sells to the downside. So let's go to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame now, we can see that price has break a structure. Price has break a structural level. Long price break this structural level, expect more drop for USDC share to be down, guys. Expect more drop for the USDC share to the downside, guys. Let's look at our next pair, which is the New Zealand USD. So New Zealand USD on my weekly time frame, we see have price on a sideways trend, guys. So, but we have something here. We have price reacting to this previous resistance, which is a resistance level. So the first time price tested this resistance, we can see that price drop. Second time price drop. Now price has tested this level. You see break of this level, we expect more buy, but the price fail, expect a retest back to this level or this area for the New Zealand USD. So this is what we're expecting from the New Zealand USD this week. Let's look at the monthly time frame of the New Zealand USD. On the monthly time frame, you can clearly see that price still indicating more push to this resistance. And we also have, if price fail to break this resistance, it might trigger a sell, but if price break, it might trigger more buy for the New Zealand USD. Let's go back to the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame, we need price to break this level for us to buy more. Then price fail to break, this might trigger a sell back for the New Zealand USD. Let's go to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we can clearly see that we have strong bullish structure already moving, and we have price on this resistance. So you might be seeing price reacting back to this level, and we'll start looking for more buy. So this is what we're expecting from the New Zealand USD. If you find this analysis helpful, please do well to like and subscribe to the channel for more trading tips and forex analysis. See you in my next video.